The NBA offseason is scorching hot right now, and so are several NBA players' cards. Plus, one baseball player's cards are sure to be hot in Cleveland at the National. I've got all the insights you need in this week's Top 5 Cards. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Top 5 Cards going up. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Tpot, filling in one more time for Jeff before he gets back from vacation. And this week we've got basketball cards, a couple baseball cards. We're gonna cover it all. You know I've got all the details. And today's top 5 is sponsored by Whatnot. Whatnot has awesome live auctions every day and night, starting at just $1 for packs, boxes, breaks, singles, and more. It's a lot of fun, and if you scan the QR code on your screen or use the special link in our show description below, you'll get $15 in free credit when you sign up for Whatnot. Now let's take a look at the overall sports card market with Market Pulse by Market Movers. Over the last 7 days, the SCI 500 index of 500 of the most prominent sports cards is down 0.5%. Over the last 30 days, the SCI 500 is down 0.3%, and since January 1st, it is up 1.1%. The best performing category of cards over the last 30 days is soccer from 2018 to 2020, maybe some Euro Cup love going on there. That's up 5.6%, while the worst performing category is basketball, NBA playoff fallout from 2018 to 2020, which is down a massive 11%. Now, as a reminder, the cards you'll see in today's show have gone up in price recently, but they are not necessarily good investments right now. Always do your own research to decide which cards you think will go up in value next. All right, we've got to start out this week with a cold card as always, and this week it is the unicorn Kristaps Porzingis, the forward for the Boston Celtics, former 4th overall draft pick from the 2015 NBA draft. Now, Porzingis came back and had a really strong start in this year's NBA Finals for the Celtics before suffering a left knee injury during Game 2. This led to Porzingis missing Games 3 and 4 and playing very limited minutes in Game 5. Injuries overall limited Porzingis in the playoffs and largely in many aspects or parts of his career so far. He only played 7 of the 19 Celtics playoff games this year. After the playoffs, Porzingis underwent surgery to repair a torn retinaculum. I hope I'm saying that correctly. You orthopedic surgeons can let me know, as well as a dislocated posterior tibialis tendon that will keep him sidelined for the next 5 to 6 months. Now, all cards as tracked by Market Movers for Porzingis are down 22% collectively over the last 30 days. That's on 89 different cards, totaling 334 sales. We've got a sampling of those cards here. We've got his Prism Silver in a BGS 9.5. You can get that card now for $39. That card started out up at $110, $120 just a month ago when he was hot in going into the finals. We've got his Concourse Silver Select here in PSA 10. Nice looking card from 2015 Select. That card is now down to $40. It's a 50% decline. We've got his Prism Base in a PSA 9, the iconic Prism set, down in a PSA 9. That one is down 20%. Now you can have that as low as $15.99 plus taxes and shipping. And we've got his Concourse PSA 10 base card here as well. That one's down 37% to $22. Our cold card this week is Kristaps Porzingis. All right, this week for our investment card, these are the cards that are more established, all-time greats. These are the ones you can feel a little more confident parking money in long-term. And this week, it's the legendary catcher Yogi Berra, formerly of the New York Yankees, who was with the Yankees from 1946 to 1963, as well as with the New York Mets briefly in 1965. Yogi Berra has had one of the best careers in MLB history, winning 10 World Series, 3 AL MVPs, and was an 18-time All-Star. Yogi compiled a career batting average of .285 and hit 358 home runs during his 19 seasons as a player. Now, after his playing days were over, Yogi had a successful transition from player to manager as coach for the Yankees, Mets, and Astros. And during Yogi's span as a coach and manager, he was part of the teams that reached the playoffs several times. He's remembered for his baseball knowledge and being a player's manager. Now we're taking a look this week at the 1948 Bowman baseball set, marked by Bowman Gum Company's entry into the baseball card market. This set consisted of 48 cards, much smaller than today's sets, but its significance lies in featuring both rookies and established stars. And we'll take a look here. I've pulled up a sampling. We've got his PSA 8, PSA 7, PSA 6, and PSA 5. Some really interesting grades. Hard to find, obviously, from back then. And just a, kind of an action shot, sort of a candid. Looks like he might be out in the field of dreams or something here. That black and white image, definitely a striking image from that era. And this card having sold recently for $8,700 from June 22nd of this year. That's in the PSA 8 condition. PSA 7 will set you back $3,300, so a pretty big price difference between those two grades. Of course, Pop 109 on the PSA 8 with just 17 graded higher, so that's definitely starting to approach the top for any vintage card in PSA 8 condition. PSA 6, $1,200, and PSA 5, a little over $1,000. These having all sold relatively recently within the last month. Our investment card of this week, Yogi Berra and his 1948 Bowman. All right, so that brings us now to our top 5 hot cards going up this week, and at number 5 this week, it is Zach Edey, the now center for the Memphis Grizzlies after a dominant 2023 and 24 college season. Edey was drafted 9th overall in the 2024 NBA draft by the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, some mock draft boards had him falling as low as like pick 25, but the Grizzlies obviously believe in the upside of the big man. And for a franchise that benefited from the services of Jonas Valanciunas for a few years back, maybe they see Edey as the next big man who can have a fruitful career with them. Edey capped off his impressive college career by becoming just the second player ever to win back-to-back John Wooden Awards, which is given to the most outstanding college basketball player each year. So, trivia question, comment down below in the comments, without Googling it, who was that other player to win back-to-back John Wooden Awards? Now, in addition to that, he swept all 6 major National Player of the Year award honors, an accomplishment that hadn't been seen since the late Bill Walton did it in 1972 and 1973. Now, Edey is known for his immense size and strength, standing at 7 foot 4 inches, making him an absolute force in the paint, especially offensively. Edey forewent the 2023 NBA draft in order to develop a better shooting touch and improve his offensive efficiency. This proved to be a wise decision by the 22-year-old. Now, all cards tracked by market movers are up 44% collectively over the last 30 days. That's on 13 cards, totaling 31 sales. Obviously, we're waiting for actual NBA cards for Zach Edey, so in this case, it's nice. Now with basketball, in my opinion, it's really nice. We get to actually look at a sampling of cards that are coming out of these Topps products, these kind of, college or draft type cards. And this is his 2022 Bowman Prospect Auto first. This is from Bowman and University Inceptions, rather, sorry. And this is his raw condition. This card having sold recently for $79.50. That's up 156%. That was as low as $31 before the draft. Then we've got his Bowman's Best of 22 autographs. And this card is having recently sold for $44. Starting point on this was $20 within the last 30 days. And then we'll look at the refractor of the same card. Obviously the refractor, and this card recently sold for a hair under $40 with a starting price of $25. So all of these cards moving up nicely in price. Obviously not going to break the bank on these cards relative to other things. It'll be really interesting to see what this draft class, which wasn't the most heralded, what these cards are going to sell for and what sealed products will come out at. Things like, Hoops, Donruss, Prism, obviously, Optic, and other sets in the year to come as we transition from Panini toward the Fanatics and Topps takeover. Zach Edey is our number 5 hot card this week. All right, at number 4 this week, it is John Kenzie Noel, the outfielder for the Cleveland Guardians. And at the midpoint of this season, the Guardians lead the AL Central by a whopping 7 games. I mentioned one player might be hot at the National in Cleveland. And hint, hint, here it is, it's Noel. Recently, he was a rising star in the Guardians farm system, and he was promoted and displayed his power at the plate on the biggest stage right out of the gate. At the age of 22, he made his major league debut last Wednesday and became the 4th Cleveland player in franchise history to hit a home run in his first major league at-bat. Now, Noel quickly followed this up by hitting his 2nd home run in his 2nd major league start on Saturday. The 2-run go-ahead blast traveled 413 feet and had an exit velocity of 115.4 miles per hour, which marked the hardest hit home run for Cleveland since the StatCast era started back in 2015. That's insane. Prior to being called up, Noel had been absolutely raking for Cleveland's AAA affiliate, hitting .295 with 15 doubles, 18 homers, 59 RBIs, while slugging .578 in just 65 games. All of his cards, as tracked by market movers, are up 61% collectively after the last 30 days. And we're going to look at some of those. We've got, obviously, his Bowman Prospect. This is his Chrome Auto Refractor, his first, numbered to $4.99. This card just sold for $75. Started out just a few weeks ago at $25. So we see this. If it were me, a lot of times history says sell these guys right when they get their call out, but he's hitting so hot right now, he could be one of those exceptions that happens from time to time, who actually continues to rise even after his call-up. We can look at his Chrome Prospect Auto first here, the non-refractor. This one sold for $32.51, started at $10. Then we've got his Sapphire. This is in his PSA 10, his Bowman Sapphire Prospect First, Pop 76, sold for $35.55. That's up 20%, up about $5. Obviously, that doesn't seem like a ton. And then here's something a little bit more rare. His Speckle Refractor out of Bowman, auto numbered to $299, sold for $100, started out at $48.84. So our number 4 hot player this week is Jhonkensy Noel. All right, at number 3 this week, it's got to be the hottest second-round draft pick of all time and the most talked about for sure in he's dominating headlines, and it is, of course, Bronny James, the now guard for the Los Angeles Lakers. After spending 1 year at USC, Bronny entered the draft and was drafted 55th overall by the Lakers. Obviously, he had a bit of an underwhelming career at USC, scored like 4 or 5 points a game. It's going to be really interesting to see. Obviously, the Lakers took him for a reason. They're trying to make sure that LeBron comes back and re-signs with the team and sticks around for a few more years until his retirement. Who knows what's going to happen? You got to expect that LeBron is going to want to play with Bronny, but nothing's a guarantee at this point. So as of right now, technically he's teammates with his father, and they would be the first father-son duo to be on the same team in NBA history. Now, the 6'2", depending on where you look, sometimes 6'4" guard is known for his unselfish play, his passing ability, and a decent three-point scoring threat. However, like we said, he didn't really meet expectations at USC, and now we'll see how he does on the biggest stage. He's going to need some development no matter which way you slice it. Now, although he does need development, it appears that he might be a potentially good fit in brand new head coach J.J. Redick's new offense. All of Bronny's cards as tracked by market movers are up 12% collectively over the last 30 days, but some are up more than that, some significantly more. So we've got his 2023 Chrome McDonald's All-American PSA 10 photo shoot card, Pop 153. That one's up from $18 to $51. It's 191% change. We've got his 2023 Bowman Chrome First base card here in PSA 10. That one's up to $50. We've got his Refractor PSA 10 up to $63. His Chrome autographs out of that McDonald's All-American set, that one will set you back $200. And then finally, we've got Bronny, his 2023 Bowman's Best, numbered to 125, Refractor Raw Auto, $180. So lots of money going into Bronny, a lot more money than Jhonkensy Noel and certain other players. Are you a believer in Bronny? Let us know down in the comments. Right now, he's our number 3 hot card. All right, at number 2 this week, it's another player with an impossible name to pronounce. It's Zachary Risacher, the forward now for the Atlanta Hawks, the first overall draft pick in the 2024 NBA draft. A surprise first overall draft pick, according to many. The 19-year-old Frenchman played a key role in helping JL Bourg reach the Euro Cup finals in the 2023-24 season. Risacher was named for the Euro Cup's Rising Stars in 2024 and was recently selected for the France senior team for Eurobasket 2025 qualifying games. He impressed scouts with his smooth shooting mechanics, his size, and his athleticism, making him a strong 3 and D threat in the NBA. Now, fun fact, Risacher was the second overall French player taken number 1 overall in the NBA draft with you-know-who, Victor Wembanyama last year, whose name nobody could pronounce in the NBA draft this year when they were announcing it. It was shocking. Frenchmen are seemingly suddenly dominating the NBA draft. Several Frenchmen taken in the top 10 this year. As a Pistons fan, I've been a little bit burned by that with Sekou Doumbouya and Killian Hayes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how Risacher and others can do in this year's NBA draft. But right now, all of his cards as tracked by market movers are up 34% collectively over the last 30 days. So we'll look at this one in particular. This is Bowman's Best University. We saw these for Bronny. Obviously, we know for the other players, Edie. This is the number to 125 Refractor. That's at $150. Started out at $60. Whoever sold that one's feeling pretty good. Then we've got his Chrome University Prospect Auto. First, raw, $113, up 56%. We've got his his gold refractor, numbered to 50 out of Bowman's Best University. That one will set you back $179, up from $72 60 days ago. And then we finally got his Prospect Auto Refractor, numbered to 250, his Bowman First. That's $118 as of June 27th. Started out this period. Oh, at that same price. I just showing that this one kind of relative to those prices, not selling as often. So overall, lots of movement on Risacher's cards. Are you excited about him? If you're a Hawks fan, if you're an NBA fan, do you think he's going to pan out, or will he be a bust? Again, let me know down in the comments. He's our number 2 hot card going up this week. All right, that brings us to our number 1 hot card this week. And as always, this data is brought to you by Market Movers. You got to visit marketmoversapp.com or check out Market Movers in the App Store for Apple and Android. It's available no matter how you want to use it. We've got 3.5 million cards we're tracking prices on, plus sales comp data from 9 different marketplaces for any card. We've got price movement. We've got tons of different features. Track your collection. You've got to get Market Movers, and you can try it out absolutely free for 7 days when you download it. Go check it out in the App Store or at marketmoversapp.com. And without further ado, the number 1 hot card, hot player this week is Mikal Bridges, the forward now for the New York Knicks. The former 10th overall draft pick in the 2018 NBA draft has rejoined 3 of his college teammates in a blockbuster deal 2 days before the NBA draft. The Knicks sent 4 unprotected first-round draft picks, a protected first-round pick via the Bucks, and an unprotected pick swap and a second rounder plus Bojan Bogdanovic. A lot of pieces went over to the Nets. They got to feel pretty good about that as they're trying to rebuild slowly for the future. And the Knicks, this makes them real contenders in many people's eyes. So obviously, Bridges is kind of a two-way player, very all-around, an efficient scorer. He's long, he can defend, he can play a lot of positions, he can guard a lot of positions. I'm a huge fan of Bridges, and more than anything, I just absolutely love the storyline here. I'm not necessarily a Knicks fan, but I did love watching that Villanova team when they went and won the national championship. And I love Dante DiVincenzo. You got to love Josh Hart. You got to love Jalen Brunson. It's going to be really fun to see how these guys can come together. This is the first time since probably the Celtics back in the 90s when was it Rick Pitino as the coach, when they had all those Kentucky players, Ron Mercer and Antoine Walker. So this is really exciting. We'll see if it works out. Now, that hasn't come without some criticism from Knicks fans who say that they just gave away way too much. So they're putting all their chips on the table. They're going for it. They got to stay healthy. They got to keep everybody healthy. Julius Randle needs to stay healthy, and we'll see what the Knicks can do next year. I think they're going to be pretty darn good. Now, while at college at Villanova, Bridges played a crucial role in winning not only the 2016, but also the 2018 national championship along Jalen Brunson. Bridges is known for his three-point shooting with a career average of 37.4%, as well as, like I said, his strong defense. Now, fun fact, Bridges holds the current longest streak, the active longest streak, for most consecutive games played in the NBA during the regular season. As of the conclusion of this last season, he had played an incredible 472 games in a row. In other words, he hasn't missed a game so far yet in his NBA career. And for the Knicks, who suffered injury after injury, that is music to their ears, as well as for Coach Tom Thibodeau, who likes to play his stars big minutes. We'll see if that works out well. So let's look at Bridges cards here. PSA 10 Prism base. You know we got to pull that up and see what that's been doing. The iconic base. And 2018 had some really actually pretty nice images, in my opinion, for several of the rookies. You could have had that card for $12 in PSA 10 condition, pop 1152 just a few weeks ago, just a month ago, and it's all the way up to $43. That is an increase of 257%. Is Prism Silver? Well, you could have bought that one for $50, now up to $124. You got the NBA, the Select Courtside Pop 20. If you don't remember from 2018, those courtsides were incredibly rare. Select back then was hobby only. There were no retail formats, and courtsides were a box hit. You would get, I believe, 1 or 2 per box on that huge checklist. So there's not a lot of these. Pop 20, they were very popular, up from $12 to $53. And then finally, imagine being the guy who bought this card or sold this card for $12. PSA 10 right here. $12, I believe. Oh, $18, my bad. For $18 on June 24, only to see him get traded on June 25th and have this card go up to $70 and then up to $84. That's a 210% increase from the beginning of the period and even larger from that sale point. So this week's number 1 hot card is Mikal Bridges. All right, that does it for this week's top 5 cards going up. Make sure to go check out Whatnot and use the code down below to get $15 free. Download Market Movers, and you can also try that out without any risk for 7 days. Until next time, happy investing, keep on collecting, and make sure to have fun.